Y'all, SM is trying to make their own One Direction. So, for those that don't know, SM is trying to debut another unit of NCT, that being NCT Hollywood. They have joined forces with an American giant, that being MGM. So, together they are making a survival show, kind of like Produce 48, where contestants are basically going to compete to debut in NCT Hollywood. I believe that everyone is going to be flown to South Korea, and that is where it will be filmed, but this show will most likely air in America as well as Korea. Now, I will be listing all my concerns for this group. Number 1, cultural differences. So there are really a lot of things that could go under this category, but I'm just going to list a few. In America, we are on a huge body positivity wave, and it's very common in Korea for people to just call each other fat, as we saw on JYP's 16 project that debuted twice. If this is caught on camera and put in the final edit of the show, it will more than likely turn off people that don't know much about K-pop and possibly turn people off from watching the entire show. The K-pop industry has also had trainees that train up to 16 hours a day. If the show does that, mind you, there are kids as young as 13 eligible to apply. It will also not go over very well with the American public. There are definitely other things that could go wrong, but those were my main two. Next up, cultural appropriation. SM has been culturally insensitive several times now, and they refuse to change or even usher a basic apology. To me, it comes across that they don't actually care about the feelings of their international fans. However, they do want international appeal, and honestly, the two cannot coexist. With K-pop becoming more globalized and having even more international eyes on them, if you would like to appeal to an international audience, it is important to not offend them. Okay, side note, I also wanted to mention this would not be the first time a show like this happened in America. So in 2017, there was a TV show called Boy Band, and essentially it was a show and they were putting together a boy band, and America got to have the final say in who would be in this boy group. Mind you, this group technically would have been coming at the perfect time because One Direction was no longer active and BTS was not big in America quite yet, or as big as they are now. And despite having an entire show to essentially promote this group, they flopped. Largely because each week people would be sent home, and some girls, if their favorite boy went home, they would just stop watching the show. Despite people being able to vote, once the final lineup came out, people were not pleased. Very much so mixed reactions, causing a lack of support once the show was finally over. At the time of this recording, they have not posted anything on their YouTube channel since Christmas 2019. The group is called In Real Life, in case anyone was curious. Also, America is mad funny. So in the US, we have like almost an unspoken rule that there is just about never two top dogs at the same time. So to try and push a boy group to be like their next One Direction is more than likely not going to happen, simply because BTS is currently the top dog for boy groups, and I don't see their success really coming to an abrupt halt before their enlistments. In all honesty, I think they would have much more luck if they were trying to put together a girl group. With BTS being the top boy group, it's only natural to want to have a girl group counterpart, that being Blackpink. But with them being gone most of the year, it could really give a brand new girl group enough time to try and build up somewhat of a fan base, stop promoting while Blackpink is active, and then come back and rise again. And if the cycle continues, eventually they will get big, but it will not be an overnight thing. Speaking of overnight, my next point being SM wants an overnight success. That can have some benefits, however, easy come, easy go. When people become overnight successes, they do not have a solid, strong, big fan base to support their follow-up releases or even protect them and defend them from internet trolls. SM seems like they don't want to put in the time to actually create a giant fan base like that. Let's look at SuperM for an example, because it's more than likely that this group is going to follow some of SuperM's previous activities. They'll debut in America, and it's more than likely this group is going to consist of Asian Americans and white boys, so that they might be more well received by the American public. We're probably going to see them plastered everywhere because they are working with MGM for this show. They'll probably even try to get them a Grammy, but if they do not explode in popularity within 2 years, they could potentially abandon it altogether. And SM has not abandoned SuperM, it's just that some of the members are enlisting soon. Back to what I said earlier about how America can be funny sometimes. We've never had a boy group with more than like 5 members be successful. So with this being NCT Hollywood, this group technically has like 20 plus people in it. Maybe SM is hoping that people will check out NCT Hollywood and then check out the other units of NCT and vice versa, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think people might be overwhelmed by the number of them and maybe not even try to learn their names. I definitely feel like this group should have just been a standalone instead of being attached to NCT in the event that it does flop, but it's okay because I don't think SM has technically even had a flop group before, but there's a first time for everything. There have been debuts under SM that were surrounded in controversy, but those groups still thrived. So with that, I will leave you because that is all I have to say on this topic. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
She walks